Picture this, a quiet evening in Willow Creek, North Carolina, the kind where the crickets hum and the air smells like pine and promise. That's where Tom Bennett, a 35-year-old high school history teacher with a soft spot for old books and open spaces, thought he'd found his slice of heaven, a cozy house on a sprawling lot, far enough from the cookie-cutter suburbs to feel free. But freedom, as Tom learned the hard way, comes with a fight, and his came in the form of a nosy HOA president named Lisa Carver, who turned his dream home into a battlefield over a gas line, a gate, and a whole lot of small-town power games. Tom's place was his sanctuary, no HOA breathing down his neck, no rules about mailbox colors or lawn length, just him, his vegetable garden, and the occasional grading session on the porch with a cold beer. He'd heard the horror stories about homeowners associations, friends getting fined for a rogue dandelion or a fence an inch too tall, and he wanted no part of it. His property sat just outside Pine Haven, a shiny new development where every house looked like it was posing for a magazine cover. Pine Haven's HOA, led by Lisa Carver, a 30-something real estate agent with a clipboard and a vendetta, was the talk of the town, either praised for keeping things pristine or cursed for ruling with an iron fist. Tom didn't care much either way. He figured he was safe, an outsider looking in. That is, until the smell hit. It was a crisp fall afternoon, the kind where you're half lost in a book and half watching the leaves fall, when Tom caught a whiff of something off-sharp, chemical, like a gas station gone wrong. At first, he brushed it off, thinking maybe a neighbor was burning something weird, but by evening, it was stronger, unsettling. Worried, he called the gas company, and a technician showed up the next day, poking around the edge of his property where a utility easement ran. The news wasn't good. A gas line had sprung a leak, nothing catastrophic yet, but it needed fixing, fast. "We'll have a crew out in a couple of days," the tech said, and Tom nodded, relieved. Problem solved, right? Wrong. 2 days later, no crew. Instead, Tom found a shiny new metal gate blocking the easement, complete with a padlock and a sign screaming, "Pine Haven HOA property authorized access only." He stood there, jaw on the ground, staring at this thing that had sprouted overnight like some kind of suburban tumor. No warning, no permission, just a gate where utility workers were supposed to go. His blood started simmering. This wasn't just annoying. It was dangerous, a gas leak waiting to turn into a disaster. And that sign? It had Lisa Carver's fingerprints all over it. Tom wasn't one for confrontation, but this was too much. He marched over to Pine Haven's HOA office, a sterile little room decked out with photos of perfect lawns and posters about community pride. Lisa was there, perched behind a desk, her blonde ponytail so tight it looked like it was pulling her smile. "Can I help you, Mr. Bennett?" she asked, her voice all syrup and steel. Tom cut to the chase. "There's a gate on my property, blocking a gas line easement. It's got to come down now. There's a leak, Lisa. This isn't a game." Her smile didn't budge, but her eyes went cold. "That gate's part of our security initiative, Tom. We're protecting Pine Haven from trespassers, ensuring our community's safety. If you're not a member, you'll need to file an access request. We review those at our monthly meeting next once in 3 weeks." Tom blinked, stunned. 3 weeks. This is a gas leak. People could get hurt, including your residents. Lisa leaned back, arms crossed. "If you're so concerned, maybe you should join the HOA. Members get priority, you know." He left the office fuming, her smugness burning a hole in his patience. The gas company was no help either apparently. They didn't want to tangle with Pine Haven's legal muscle. Days dragged into weeks, and the leak sat unfixed, a ticking time bomb. Worse, Lisa went on the offensive. Whispers started circulating in Pine Haven. Tom was a slacker, neglecting his land, endangering the neighborhood. Neighbors who used to wave started avoiding his eyes. Then came the complaints, HOA letters to the town, accusing him of overgrown grass, hazardous trees, even trash that mysteriously appeared in his driveway. Tom had to scramble to meet inspectors, proving his property was fine, all while Lisa's campaign painted him as the town pariah. It came to a head at a Pine Haven community meeting, where Lisa had the stage and a microphone. "This man," she said, pointing at Tom like he was a criminal, "refuses to follow basic standards, putting us all at risk. Joining the HOA is the only way to keep our community safe." The room erupted in murmurs, a few angry shouts. Tom tried to speak, to explain the gas leak, the gate, but he was drowned out. He left feeling like he'd been ambushed, but something in him snapped wasn't going to let Lisa win. Enter Sarah Monroe, a no-nonsense property rights lawyer who'd taken down HOAs before breakfast. She dug into the case and confirmed what Tom suspected. The easement was public utility land, and Lisa's gate was flat-out illegal. Armed with a cease and desist letter, Tom went back to Lisa, documents in hand. "This ends now," he said, sliding the papers across her desk. "That gate's coming down, or we're going to court." Lisa barely glanced at them. "Anyone can fake a few papers, Tom. You're out of your depth. Keep pushing, and I'll sue you for harassment." Her voice was ice, but Tom held his ground. "You're the one playing with fire, Lisa. This leak could blow up literally." Things got uglier. Trash bags piled up in Tom's driveway, notes stuffed in his mailbox. "Stay out of Pine Haven, loser." He knew Lisa was behind it, or at least egging it on, but he had no proof. Then, a breakthrough. He started talking to Pine Haven residents, quietly, over coffee or in their backyards. One, an older woman named Clara, spilled that Lisa had used HOA funds to spruce up her lawn, calling it a community project. Another guy, Mike, admitted Lisa had bullied him into signing off on shady rule changes. The cracks in Lisa's empire were showing, and Tom wasn't alone anymore. The final straw came the morning of the court hearing. Tom stepped outside, ready to drive, only to find Lisa's SUV parked across his driveway, hazard lights blinking, her standing there with a smirk. "You're not going anywhere," she called, phone in hand. "I've called the cops. You've been threatening me." Tom's heart pounded, but he stayed cool, pulling out his phone to record. "Move your car, Lisa. You're breaking the law." She laughed venomously. "This is harassment, Tom. I'm protecting my community." He kept filming, sent the video to Sarah, and called the police himself. When they showed up, Lisa's act fell apart. Tom's calm. The video, it all pointed to her as the aggressor. The cops made her move, and Tom made it to court. In the courtroom, Sarah laid it all out. The illegal gate, the easement, Lisa's stunts. The judge didn't mince words. "Pine Haven HOA has endangered this community with reckless obstruction," she said, ordering the gate removed, fining the HOA, and making them cover Tom's legal fees. Lisa sat there, stone-faced, as her kingdom crumbled. Testimony from Clara and others sealed her fate: unauthorized spending, bullying, and lies. At an emergency HOA meeting, she was ousted, her protests ignored. She was done. The gate came down, the gas line got fixed, and Tom's life went back to normal, better, even. Pine Haven's new HOA board, led by a quiet but fair woman named Ellen, opened up meetings, made budgets transparent, and gave residents a voice. Neighbors who'd shunned Tom stopped by to apologize, some with homemade pies, others with stories of Lisa's overreach. "You did what we couldn't," one said, and Tom just shrugged, but he felt quiet pride. He threw a barbecue, kids running around his yard, laughter filling the air, a community healing. Lisa? She sold her house, slipped out of town, a cautionary tale. Looking back, Tom didn't set out to be a hero. He just wanted his peace, his patch of dirt. But standing up to Lisa, to a system that thrives on control, changed more than his own life. Fight woke up a whole community. Sometimes he wonders, what if he'd backed down? Would Lisa still be ruling Pine Haven, gate and all? It's a question worth asking. And I'm asking you, have you ever faced a bully like Lisa, someone hiding behind rules to push people around? Drop a comment, share your story. Let's talk about what it takes to stand up, because trust me, Tom's fight, it's not just his. Subscribe if you're with us, and let's keep these stories alive.